いや一層一の型返せこの方即日化け物影結果
Now, as some of you should know by now, Fire Force is one of my favorite animes of all time. I've made a few videos on it in the past, and the final season is finally upon us. See what I did there? Kinda scared how rushed this season is gonna be since it's only 13 episodes, but just like how the studio was probably thinking making that decision, fuck it, we ball. The opening was also some gas. I wouldn't say the best one overall, but in terms of visuals, I'd say so. Inferno, Spark Again, and Torch of Liberty still has a special place in my heart. Love how the animation style kept changing throughout, and boy are we in for some peak. They really didn't hold back with the spoilers either. To give a brief sum up for the finale of the first cour, basically Shinra and Inca decided to go back in time, leading to one of, if not the biggest turning points of the series, how their world was the same as our world IRL, and the Great Cataclysm completely changed all that shit from 3D to 2D. My boy Shinra ain't even know what to say, and I can't blame him, cause literally, how can you even describe this shit? It's like being hit with Gojo's domain expansion, I'm not gonna lie. But when Shinra woke up, he was tied to the bed on some freaky shit, or like he was trapped in a damn asylum, as he hears that it's been 3 months and now they're dealing with the appearance of a 5th pillar. My boy done thought the white clad ops done got his ass, but it just turned out to be Captain Obi and Lieutenant Hinowa. Turns out, ever since the first pillar appearance, he hasn't been acting like himself. Obviously, Shinra's confused cause that shit was like a day ago to him. We see Arthur peeking in and asks Shinra where he's been at. They untie Shinra, and Arthur, like Bilu, gets to elaborating. He says that up until yesterday, the Shinra who's been around wasn't really Shinra. Shinra over here was more worried about his hair being blonde and his ears being pierced now. And I get it, cause he has no recollection of doing so, like how niggas be overly drunk doing shit for themselves in the morning to deal with. But I'm not gonna lie, this look is kinda tough. I personally could get used to it. Shinra asks him what he was like the past 3 months, to their response being that, to sum it up, he pretty much just had a delayed rebellious phase. We see Shinra re-dyed his hair back to black, and now that sure looks weird to me. I don't know if it's just me, but Vulcan came around and was like, damn bro, I hope you don't regret that tat as much as you did your hair. What tat? Nigga, say you swear to God. As we can see, for the past 3 months, Shinra was really going for that glow up process. His tats ain't even bad though, I low-key rock with them heavy, I'd get them tatted, shit. Bro don't even believe in the Lord in the verse, but he was praying for that forgiveness anyways. Vulcan points out that Arthur was the first one to realize that Shinra wasn't really himself 3 months back. Shinra was grateful, but bro had to lock in and cut that shit out, I guess. In the big 2026, and niggas can't be grateful and polite no more. Man, we see Lick come in like a wrecking ball, no Miley Cyrus, pressing Shinra for info, to which he tells him that he saw the world of the past and now he's back with tattoos, piercing, and blonde hair. Now those things could just be overlooked as just a change in fashion sense, but Lick mentions that Shinra was violating orders and causing trouble, with one of the many things he did was being physically violent towards Sister Iris. Shinra's on a one-on-one with Arthur right now, and Arthur asks him to break down where he's been at for the past 3 months, but not even Shinra knows himself as he's struggling to believe the truth. He draws it out and basically explains to Arthur that the people of the past looked like what he drew, and obviously he couldn't really explain it, but they did meet the requirement of what a human should be, and that the Great Cataclysm 250 years ago was a turning point that changed the rules of language and reality altogether. Shinra asks Arthur the reasons for his tattoos, blonde hair, and piercings, and Arthur brought up when they were in training school. Back then, when he was regarded as the parent killer Shinra Kusakabe for the incident that happened with his mom and Sho. But what Shinra also didn't know were the other rumors about how he got tattoos to commemorate killing his family on his legs and was tatted up like a Chipotle bag in general. And ultimately, Arthur's theory is that he probably was the Adola version of himself. In other words, his doppelganger. But that's when Sister Iris comes into the frame, asking about Shinra's well-being. They have this little ISO for a bit, and Iris explained that with the rise of a new pillar, the instances of human combustion in the Tokyo Empire also increased, and the 2nd gen and 3rd generation pyrokinetic users also got a big amp. Hibana and Licht think that each pillar's appearance brings their world and Adola closer, and just the other day, she also discovered that she is a 3rd generation pyrokinetic. She also feels like something isn't right with her, as if she can't confirm her own existence, as if she's some type of imitation. Now keep that in mind. But when she went to talk to Shinra about it the other day, it was the Adola version of him, and he actually backfisted her face. Shinra starts thinking about how the people in the Empire see Sister Iris for being this warm and gentle person who brings light to others, just like Amaterasu. Now keep that in mind. We cut to Licht and Hibana just going over all the info that they have at the moment, connecting the dots and all that, and Licht says that the rifts in the continent were said to be a scar from the previous cataclysm, and if the abnormalities observed in the vicinity are due to the influence of Adola, it would explain the transformations in the land and the talking animals that they saw back then in season 2. Ultimately, all the phenomena that defies their logic may be hints to understanding Adola. Shinra and Captain Obi have this one-on-one, and even though Adola Shinra has been acting like the King Von incarnate for the past 3 months, Obi didn't hate or abandon him, which really meant a lot to Shinra. We cut to Conro walking past the goat, Benimaru, drunk and asleep while moon gazing. And not gonna lie, that shit is so real. Most nights I be staring at the moon myself on some calm shit. Conro's like, alright buddy, it's bedtime. But Benny was awake, saying how he had that dream again, with Conro, him, and the previous captain of the 7th. And even in his dreams, he couldn't win the approval of the previous captain, as we cut to the world of Adola, with this guy climbing over these infernals on some swag shit as the 7th pillar appears. We see the Company 8 gang watching the news, as it seems like 2 pillars came up simultaneously, being the 6th and the 7th. 6-7. Shinra wanted to go out and put a stop to it, but the 8th are still considered traitors to the Empire, so they don't have much of a choice but to stay put. The 6th pillar came up from the Tama riverfront, which usually comes with the giant inferno. This shit ain't nothing new no more. Kurono and Oguru are already on the scene. Kurono was trying to cop out, saying can't they just leave this shit to the 2nd. His lazy ass was not trying to scrap today, but Oguru just told bro to get it over with and reduce the overall overtime pay. But Kurono said that it's crazy to think about that they've already gotten used to this type of shit, which is true. The world coming to an end slowly but surely, and all you can do is really play your role in the grand scheme of things. But things are a little different with the 7th one. The 7th pillar rose from the Sumida riverfront, which is close to Asakusa, and normally Benimaru and the 7th company would just stay out of it, but instead of a giant inferno being there, it's a human-sized one floating in the air near it. But this ain't no random infernal. Oh no, it was the previous boss of Company 7, and Benny was trying to give the old man a good welcoming, so he tagged in for this one, telling everyone that this is his fight, calling that ISO. Look at the way this nigga was waiting for Benimaru to pull up, smiling ear to ear and all. That man was itching for that fade. Here comes Benimaru on the Matoi, nonchalant as ever, facing off. Benny asks why OG came back, and all he was saying was destroy, like he was senile, as he comes in and they clash with Kagetsu, creating a crimson crescent and changing the whole damn animation style of the waves. And I am not kidding, Kurono and Hibana also came in to watch the fight alongside Kareem and Hugh Young Lee, and it looks like a domain expansion was popped or something. I actually also have no idea why these 2 from Company 1 pulled up, because in the manga, they actually encountered the Demon Inferno first, and he proceeded to fly towards the 7th pillar, and I just assumed they followed him, but that wasn't shown here, so it's whatever. Seeing with his own eyes, Conro and Hibana deduct that it's the doppelganger of the man who loved Asakusa more than anyone else, Shinmon Hibachi. These guys get pushed back, and OG told Benny that he ain't changed in the slightest, betting that he can't even fire off a decent Nichirin, and because of that, he had to come back from hell to show him how it's done. He asks Benny what he saw when he watched him back then, and Benny clapped back asking Unk if he forgot how he died, to which he responded saying that's what just comes with the life of being an Asakusa Hikeshi, which means firefighter if y'all needed that translation. But we get the history between them. Going back 9 years ago, Benimaru liked the moon more than he did the sun. Conro asked him if he was making an excuse for not being able to use Nichirin, and boy, if the boss heard that shit, he would have gotten whooped. But Benny says that he just likes the Akatsuki that Conro uses more than Nichirin, and Conro tells him that the sunlight is the sole factor that determines how fast the moon will dwindle. The Akatsuki is a double-edged sword, being it can't be used without a trustworthy sun, stating it's just a reckless technique in the end. Benimaru got scolded for scrapping in the town, but just look at the twins playing with his head top. It's low-key kinda cute, I can't lie. Conro came in cause he heard Benny sent Kantaro flying in the shopping district. Conro asked him if it was his fight, but Benny said that the fight was brought to him. Conro tells Benny that he is mad strong, and soon enough, he'll be stronger than himself. He goes on saying that those who have not will never gain anything, and those worthy of possessing much will gain greatly. Just having power means you'll get add-ons or like perks such as fame and people's trust, but naturally there are negatives as well, such as fear. Basically, the with great power comes great responsibility talk. It's not fair, but it's reality. Breaking down what the boss wants Benny to do, being not to use his powers and all that comes with it in the wrong way, and to use the spotlight effectively, just telling him to be smart and thoughtful. We cut to Hibachi and Conro talking, and pretty much Hibachi is pressed that Conro broke down what he meant to Benny. Conro's excuse was that OG just said too little, and Benny still thinks that OG doesn't fuck with him. Hibachi says that if he doesn't understand it after a solid hit, then that's all Benny amounts to which Conro asks, even if he grows into a monster. Hibachi says that Benny may grow to be a bigger idiot than he already is. Asakusa's Hikashi ain't like the Holy Soul ones, and only massive idiots can run Asakusa, that's how it works. The Holy Soul Fire Soldiers work under the sun's divine protection, and take the lives of infernals, meaning a god takes responsibility for them. But Asakusa does things differently, because they take the lives of infernals with their bare hands, and they shoulder all the responsibility, and that only a complete moron could be capable of that. Hibachi says that in his own way, Benny does understand the weight of taking on that type of resolve, and that's why if he doesn't have that resolve, then he can't properly use Nichirin. OG tells Conro to keep that lip shut, and once Benny can pull off a good Nichirin, he'll tell all of this to him himself. We see a fire break out in the streets of Asakusa with an infernal in the house. Hibachi and them are on the scene. The child of the mother who turned infernal tells Hibachi that she ain't do nothing wrong, begging OG not to kill her. Benny had to hold the little man back cause it just gotta be done, and OG ended her shit with one clean swipe, and that little nigga was mad. Now keep that in mind. OG and Benny are having this ISO, and how 9,568 are the amount of people that Asakusa's Hikashi have put to rest over the years, and Hibachi just made it 9,569 today, with 278 of them being his own. He states that he'll continue to kill, being that Asakusa is his town, but he can't continue it forever, asking Benny how long is he going to keep running, telling him to find his resolve to carry the weight of people's deaths, because that's what it means to be a Asakusa Hikashi. Then he proceeds to kick Benny out like Unk at the Diamond Gym, sending niggas to the hill and telling him not to come back till he's found his resolve to shoulder the Nichirin. Now Benny's standing on this rooftop aura farming in front of the sunset like, damn nigga, we get it, you're nonchalant. He says that carrying the weight of the dead is like for a single man to imitate a god, and nothing more can be this arrogantly foolish. Since there's no gods in Asakusa, everyone, including the living and the dead, entrust their lives to the Hikashi, shouldering the sun and the stolen lives. Grief, rage, and resentment are like emotions that change just like the sun's forms, claiming that the burden is too heavy for Unk to be carrying forever, finally finding his own resolve. Unk really felt the change in spiritual pressure in the air after this shit. I'm not gonna lie, this gotta be Glazer or something. He really is the Gojo of the verse. But that's when he gets slimed out UK style from behind by the Jit at the scene. The Jit says that he ain't do nothing wrong, and he simply did what OG did to his moms, but OG don't even blame him, since a killer can also be killed. The kid doesn't understand why all the grown-ups adore Unk over here, asking who made him king, giving him the authority to take lives of others, but Unk doesn't really get it either, and that's why the head of Asakusa's Hikashi can't be someone sensible, but one who is an unrepentant, indisputable knucklehead as he passes away right here. Now, this was kinda sad. I mean, I kinda hate the kid even still till this day, like what the fuck was he even doing? But I genuinely say this out of curiosity, but how the hell did Unk die due to that little ass knife? How did that boy even catch you lacking that bad in the first place? He ain't no Toji, he ain't got aura for real. Like, even Benny asked bro how did he die that easily, but OG told him not to worry about all that. Dashed in and kicked Benny back, but he landed on the Matoi with such swagger I'd believe you if you said he was a skater or something in a past life. W keyed, charged up that EI chop as they both hit a Kagetsu clashing. And when I tell you the sound design was so beautiful here, I mean it. Straight eargasms. Benny hits form 3 and OG hits form 5, clashing again, splitting these skies like they had Conqueror's hockey, making the waves go absolutely crazy. Benny got sent back, but he landed on the Matoi again. The peanut gallery even noticed the change in animation, like I was not trolling. Some fourth wall shit was broken yet again in Fire Force, looking like they're in the Edo period or some. Hibana stated that their flames are bringing Adola closer and that the people's image of an ocean are affecting this world's. But Conroe wasn't even worried about that. He told Benny to show the old boss how much he's grown, carrying the burden of Asakusa, and all that's left is to shoulder the true Nichirin. So he told OG to get ready for round 2, and he was smiling ear to ear like a proud father. He has never been more excited than to hear those words from him. They get in close, going hit for hit, tit for tat, and Benny was like, I ain't sending yo ass back to hell that fast, old man. You want some tea or something? S-keyed 6 feet like it was 2020, coming in with that 5th form, and Unk hit that 3rd, going blow for blow, then a point blank Kagetsu. They ain't done though. They both hit that 2nd form stance, flash banging the peanut gallery, me included, like my eyes. But after this, OG was right below Benny and hit that 4th form, sending that shit sky high. Even the heat was warping the surface of the sea, but even so, OG knew that Benny was the honored one, the child of flame, Kagetsuchi. Any and all flames are his allies. Hibana asks how Benny was so strong, but Conroe said that being strong or weak has nada to do with logic, and that's why it's so great, and Benny just happens to be strong. The rest of the 7th pull up, and Benny bowed his head towards Hibachi, saying after his death, he succeeded Conroe. A lot has happened, and Asakusa's Hikashi became Special Fire Force Company 7, and he serves as their boss. He admits he caused the previous boss a lot of hardship, but on this occasion, he came to fight, stating that he will not shame the name of Shinmon that he was given. Finally asking OG to observe his style of Hikashi, asking for permission to lay him to rest. Company 7 knew what to do, started cheering, sending fireworks in the air, the whole shebang. Benny apologized to the rest, saying he's just a kid who ain't grown up yet, and OG had to come back as a ghost, and in order for him to feel at ease and go back, they gotta show him their Hikashi. He had their full support too, but Hibana just exiting out of the frame was low-key kinda funny to me, I can't lie. They throw their Matois, asking him to take care of the old boss as he hits his ult, that EI chop form 7 Nichirin, and this shit was so beautiful. I've been waiting too damn long for this shit. As he fires it off, OG was getting blinded by the light. Even he had to start glazing Benny, fingers to his chest and all, apologizing to OG, saying that he's always just liked this move much better, booming his shit as we see the move called Nichirin Akatsuki, creating his own Nichirin by merging the moon with it as well, as Benny thanks him for everything, with OG going out proud with a smile. Benny lands back down, telling Conroe that he sent the old boss off and that he treated him like a knucklehead till the very end, but that was also proof of his approval. Had Conroe tearing up in Benny's place while looking at the crimson moon together, ending off the episode with this beautiful screensaver worthy shot. I'm not sure if I'll cover the rest of this season as consistently, but just subscribe to the channel so y'all won't miss a thing, cause the next big fight after this one is Arthur and Dragon, winner takes all. They really animated like 7 to 9 chapters or some in this bitch, and it honestly did not feel rushed to me. I mean, yes, they did leave out some shit here and there, but nothing plot or pacing hindering, I swear. But yeah, enough of me yapping. Y'all go follow the socials up here. Hope y'all had a great day, and see ya.
I never win a shot, nigga, don't play with me. 5-figure drop when I step with the stove. Your bitch had to pink out, she a 5-star hoe. My chain like the same 24K gold. Cocaine, baby, she put water in her nose. Give her a good dick, then she hop on the stove. Took her to eat, she want lots and pasta. It's me for dessert when we go back home.